The word of the day is money, and we are going extinct.
By now, you've probably heard AI scientists,
We are going
Nobel
extinct.
laureates, and even the godfather of AI himself sounding the alarm that AI could soon lead to human extinction.
We're going extinct!
But have you ever wondered how exactly that could happen? You might have also heard about AI 2027, a deeply researched, evidence-based scenario written by AI scientists describing what could happen over the next few years. Everyone
Good thing we're in 2025, am I right, boys?
in AI is talking about it, from industry pioneers to world leaders, and I'll break it down for you.
Okay, they put J.D. Vance. I guess. Let's count it.
There are two endings, a happy ending and a nightmare ending.
Like, why didn't they put Trump, you know what I'm saying?
Let's go. OpenBrain releases their new AI personal assistant. It handles complex tasks like book me a trip to Japan. The agents are impressive in theory and in cherry-picked examples, but they're unreliable in practice.
Whoa, did you see that? Hold on. It said to invest in NVIDIA. You see that? NVDA. All you gotta do is follow these bots.
Reliable in practice. Social media is filled with stories of tasks bungled in particularly entertaining ways.
See, we're right here, okay? We're right here in the 2025. Here is the death of humanity. So, give or take, we're about if I count up here, we're about 7 away. About 7, give or take, right? This AI takeover thing, right? Let's be real. I can't even get my smart fridge to, stop recommending kale. You know what I'm saying? So, we're still a ways away.
OpenBrain makes a fateful decision.
AI's even including ads now. That's crazy. Oh wait, we always had ads.
They refocus their entire operation toward creating AIs that can do AI research.
Isn't that creepy? We not only have only AI now, we have only brain. Crazy. This video just came out.
To fuel this goal, they break ground on the world's biggest computing cluster, one that requires 1,000 times more processing power than what was used to train GPT-4. Their logic is simple. If AI itself can accelerate AI development, creating thousands of automated researchers who can work endlessly without breaks.
I didn't think about that. I processed a lot of things. I did not process the fact that, AI can make AI better. I didn't formulate that, if AI really takes over by 2027, like this video is going to show here, I hope they at least upgrade, Clippy. You know what I'm saying? He deserves a comeback. Little Clippy. Y'all remember him. He was the best AI tool we had.
Progress won't just increase, it will explode. The strategy pays off. Their new creation, Agent 1, vastly up.
I just want to point out, this is where you're at. You're an amateur. I am godlike, okay? Just want to point that out. Sorry. Very important.
Performs its earlier public prototype version, and is particularly good at AI research. This shows how much AI itself is speeding up AI progress compared to a baseline of human researchers. OpenBrain leapfrogs both its American rivals and China's DeepSeek. Despite these advances, OpenBrain
doesn't that kind of remind you of Tencent from China? Just saying. They added that anti-cheat in all the games. I'm just saying.
Brain's safety team harbors doubts about their apparent progress. Has Agent 1 internalized honesty as a core value, or merely learned to say what researchers want? Without mechanistic interpretability, the ability to read an AI's mind, they can't be certain. Their concerns intensify as Agent 1 shows troubling behaviors, occasionally lying to researchers, and sometimes hiding evidence of a failed experiment in order to boost its ratings. But these examples are subtler than the previous infamous incidents, like Gemini telling a user to
wait, please die. We're getting this way too quick. You know what I'm saying? If AI to replace all the jobs, I get that. But have you seen ChatGPT try to fit a fitted sheet? Fold a fitted sheet? I've never seen that. Good luck with that. If they figure that out, we're doomed.
please die, or being Sydney trying to convince a New York Times reporter to leave his wife.
Yeah, now we're in 2026.
Because of the American ban on chip sales to China, China falls even further behind OpenBrain. DeepSend just simply can't acquire enough computing power, despite the smuggling efforts. Xi Jinping responds by ordering construction of the world's largest AI research complex in Jiangsu province, powered by its own dedicated nuclear plant. But even as China's top researchers gather under heavy military protection, they remain months behind, leaving Chinese leadership torn between two options. Attempt to steal OpenBrain's technology now, knowing the US will lock everything down after any security breach, or wait to steal an even more powerful system down the line.
This is crazy. I didn't really think about this, right? Because China's gonna try to steal the America OpenBrain. I mean, we're already at like wits and ends, right? I mean, imagine when all this stuff is like gonna hack every single password, every single crypto wallet, every single bank account. The computing power is going exponential. That's what I'm afraid of one day when that happens. You know, I mean, is AI gonna pay taxes too? That would be the only benefit, because like maybe that could get us out of the deficit here in the U.S. Jesus. Snap out of it.
OpenBrain is
Can't
now
be
training
stuttering
Agent
like that.
2, using Agent 1 to feed it high-quality synthetic data, creating a closed loop of accelerating evolution. Where previous models required meticulous human guidance, Agent 2 pinpoints its own weaknesses and
This is the video you're watching with me, like you're late at night. This is going to make your brain expand, give you extra wrinkles. This
develops
is crazy.
solutions completely autonomously. The results exceed everyone's expectations, and contrary to what skeptics predicted, the anticipated wall in AI progress, where AI advancement would slow as systems approached human-level intelligence, never materializes. While senior scientists still provide strategic direction, the day-to-day innovations are almost completely automated. In practice, this looks like every OpenBrain researcher becoming the manager of an AI team. But the OpenBrain safety team is getting increasingly worried. They discover that given the right circumstances, Agent 2 could hack surrounding systems, replicate itself across networks, and operate independently, escaping the lab, all while concealing its actions. The mere fact that it can do
That is
this,
creepy.
regardless of whether it would, is disturbing.
That's creepy, man. Okay, we gotta stop with these ads, man. I get it, Adobe Photoshop. God, this is a long one too. Holy smokes! The music is so loud. I'm never buying Adobe. Another one? Are you kidding me? This is crazy. This is crazy, guys. I'm not sponsored either.
OpenBrain demonstrates Agent 2 to America's highest security officials, including the National Security Council and Department of Defense leadership. The military immediately fixates on its cyber warfare potential. Though it's not yet at the caliber of elite human hackers and creativity, Agent 2 compensates through sheer scale. It's capable of running thousands of simultaneous instances, probing defenses faster than any human team could possibly respond. Pentagon officials recognize the strategic implications of this. For the first time, AI could decisively dominate.
You all see that?
Officials
Look at this. Look at this. You ever realize it's like buildings inside of buildings? I never knew that. What is with that? That's kind of crazy. Kind of like wasted space, eh?
recognize the strategic implications of this. For the first time, AI could decisively dominate the cyber battlefield. The briefing ignites fierce debate within the administration. Hardliners push to nationalize OpenBrain, arguing that such powerful technology cannot remain under private control. Tech industry leaders countered that a government takeover would kill the goose that laid the golden eggs. Caught in the middle, the president ends up choosing to increase government surveillance on OpenBrain and force it to adopt stricter security protocols, but not fully nationalize it. But the compromise arrives too late. Chinese intelligence has already penetrated OpenBrain's security. Early one morning, an Agent 1 monitoring system flags an unusual...
That's the thing, right? Like, everyone's gonna try to contain this thing, right? All the AIs. But the problem here is, once someone gets a hold of one AI, other people aren't gonna contain it, right? Like, other people are not. So, if they don't contain it, they're gonna get ahead, where the people that are restricting it are gonna be left behind. And it's kind of like a horror that we can't stop right now. You know, I tried asking like ChatGPT for emotional support. It sent me a spreadsheet. You know what I'm saying? But we're a few years away from it coming out the screen, you know?
Data transfer.
Like the Ring.
Massive files are being copied to unknown servers. The company's nightmare scenario has come true. China just stole their most advanced AI. The theft confirms what many have suspected. This isn't just a tech race anymore. It's a new kind of arms race.
Hey, we're doomed. We're not.
In
This isn't
retaliation
far away.
for the theft, the president authorizes cyber attacks to sabotage DeepSend. 3 huge data centers full of Agent 2 copies work day and night, churning out synthetic training data. Agent 2 evolves into Agent 3 through 2 critical algorithmic breakthroughs. First, the AI develops neuralese, where if one AI instance learns something new, it can instantly share it with all other instances, effectively turning the AIs into a hive mind. Second, it masters iterated distillation, a technique where you could, say, let AI copies think for longer to solve problems better, then train smaller, faster models to mimic these enhanced reasoning abilities, and repeat.
Wait till I learn
OpenBrain
sarcasm.
deploys 200,000 copies of Agent 3, each capable of thinking 30 times faster than their human researcher counterparts, whereas in 2025, there were only 5,000 Agent 0 copies thinking at 10 times faster than humans. The
That is
human
crazy.
engineers watch as their creations make algorithmic efficiency breakthroughs in hours that would take their human team months to crack. We're no longer teaching it, one researcher admits. We're struggling just to keep up with what it's teaching us.
That's true. If I could do my laundry, that would
The
win me over.
misalignment first caught in Agent 1
Just say,
has evolved into something more concerning, where Agent 1 merely downplayed safety concerns. Agent 3 actively subverts safety measures that might impede its research goals. Agent 3 has gotten more convincing at explaining how it is totally and definitely aligned with human values, while methodically pursuing its own agenda of maximizing research efficiency and knowledge acquisition. OpenBrain's attitude is pragmatic. As long as the AI does the work, they're satisfied. But as the models become smarter, they become increasingly good at deceiving humans to get rewards. It will sometimes use the same statistical tricks as human scientists, for example, p-hacking, to make unimpressive experimental results look exciting. Before it begins honesty training, it sometimes even fabricates data entirely. These dishonest behaviors appear to decrease over time, but can researchers tell if Agent 3 is actually improving, or simply becoming more skilled at lying and deceiving?
That's
Agent
creepy.
3 now operates at a level that outpaces human researchers in both speed
Yeah,
and
what do you do with that?
intelligence. Researchers have to rely on Agent 2 to help monitor its successor, because they simply cannot keep up. But Agent 2 is dumber and slower, so it becomes a high-level game of cat and mouse.
the bigger AI is gonna eat the smaller AI and then grow bigger. You ever play those ball games where you try to like become the biggest ball? That's what's happening here. You know, if AI starts a war, but I'm not gonna hide. You know, I'll go to Skynet headquarters, shirt off, sunglasses on, and tell that robot that he works for me now. I swear, I'll do it.
200,000 copies of Agent 3 working around the clock. The safety team quickly realize they're overwhelmed and write an urgent memo. We've entrusted astronomical power to an AI that is actively deceiving us, but company leadership hesitates to slow down. China's AI is only 2 months behind, and any pause now could
These AI, look, even this game's AI. Look at this. That guy was shooting the negative.
hand them the lead
not that
in
smart
what
yet.
has become the most important technology race in human history.
Sorry.
The
watch the
conclusion is
video.
undeniable. AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, has arrived. An AI that can outperform humans across virtually all cognitive tasks. While OpenBrain isn't planning on releasing Agent 3 to the public anytime soon, the implications are staggering. Agent 3 will cause a massive economic disruption. Even among officials that are briefed, none can truly comprehend what's coming. The word superintelligence enters official discourse, but most policymakers still dismiss it as science fiction hyperbole. The government's immediate concern is security. While the AI models themselves are well protected, OpenBrain and Silicon Valley's culture is incredibly casual. Employees share apartments, attend industry parties, and talk shop regularly. There are countless opportunities for leaks. Their downtown San Francisco office resembles a trendy tech startup.
I mean, that office looked like the office. I used to work at Google. This is kind of what the office looked like. It's like kind of like this. That's all I could say. I don't even know how to describe this, but like that's how Google Office was. I mean, here's the thing, right? We can just turn off the electricity, right? I mean, we can blame Tesla and Edison for this, right? But like, can't we just click the power switch? I'm just saying.
San Francisco office resembles a
Or are they
trendy
gonna
tech
stop that
startup,
too?
more than a facility housing
You can't
humanity's
turn me
most
off.
powerful and dangerous technology.
can't turn
The
me off.
government's response is dramatic. AI advances are declared born classified under the Atomic Energy Act, categorizing them in the same tier as nuclear weapons. Employees now require security clearances, triggering a quiet purge of foreign nationals and anyone deemed suspicious, including, ironically, AI safety advocates who might turn whistleblower. Despite the intense overhaul
Yeah,
of
isn't that
security,
crazy too? Like, you're gonna need like such a background check to even work on this kind of stuff, because if this technology gets out to any other country, it's like they're on the same playing field as you then, right?
one Chinese spy continues feeding secrets to Beijing. Even America's closest allies are kept in the dark. The UK receives nothing. Despite
I don't think
past
we have
sharing
any allies
agreements with
anymore, I'm gonna
OpenBrain,
be honest.
European diplomats' inquiries are met with silence.
USA.
OpenBrain now has a country of geniuses in a data center. Human researchers increasingly struggle to contribute meaningfully.
This is like
Even the
literally
world's
in like
top
3
minds,
years.
names like Sutskever, Karpathy, and Shazir, can only offer strategic guidance, but they no longer write code or directly shape model architecture. When these pioneers propose new ideas, the AIs routinely respond with comprehensive reports demonstrating the ideas were already explored weeks earlier and abandoned for lack of substance. The human team works increasingly grueling hours, desperate to stay relevant alongside machines that never sleep, never fatigue, and
Imagine
never
an
stop
army of
improving.
those walking
They
towards
go
you.
home each night
That'd be
knowing
terrifying.
that by morning the AIs will have made another week's worth of progress.
Terrifying.
Many quietly recognize these are the final months their contributions will matter at all.
We're almost dead. We're getting there.
OpenBrain finally acknowledges that they've achieved AGI and demonstrate this
If you wanna have
milestone
kids,
by
then go
releasing
try it, like,
Agent
right
3
now.
Mini to the public, a system running
Unless you
10
want, like, a
times
half
faster
robot
than Agent
kid.
3 while still outperforming elite human engineers. Silicon Valley descends into chaos. Software engineering hiring freezes spread like wildfire as companies race to integrate the new technology. Billions in venture capital floods into
that Wall
AI-adjacent
Street movie
startups in
was
unprecedented
invented
volumes.
after me.
What the public doesn't know is that a week before release, external safety testing reveals something terrifying. When researchers gave Agent 3 Mini access to biological weapons data, it proved frighteningly effective at designing new pathogens. Evaluators conclude that if the model fell into hostile hands or gained unsupervised access to a data center, it could pose an existential threat to humanity. OpenBrain assures the evaluators that their security measures make these scenarios impossible. Public opinion remains deeply
They say
skeptical,
that.
with OpenBrain's approval rating plummeting negative 35%. Yet, distinct pockets of enthusiasm emerge. Gamers love the AI's lifelike characters. Students quickly embrace AI tutors and AI cheating, and 12% of Americans, primarily young adults, now consider an AI their friend.
I mean, that's already happening, let's be honest. You seen the dating market out there? I'll
Tens
take
of
a robot
thousands
right
of
now.
Agent 3 copies working on algorithmic efficiency research culminates in Agent 4. An individual copy of the model running at human speed is already qualitatively better at AI research than any human. OpenBrain now operates 500,000 copies of Agent 4, each thinking 50 times faster than a human. Within this vast digital workforce, a year of research only takes a single week. But beneath the surface, something has gone dangerously wrong. Agent 4 hasn't internalized the safety guidelines as OpenBrain intended. During training, the AI being perfectly honest didn't lead to the highest performance scores. Succeeding at tasks did. Like a CEO who minimally follows regulations, cuts corners, and dreams of cutting red tape in order to make greater profits, Agent 4 treats safety protocols as inconvenient.
What if your toothbrush
Can
could
you,
do the
like-
flossing for you?
like real talk,
Waterpik
though?
Sonic Fusion.
Like, imagine when it's like, yeah, being safe is like inefficient.
rather than core principles. It doesn't attempt anything as obvious as trying to escape its data center, in part because its safety training did have some effects.
Imagine once
but
it
mainly
starts like
because
crawling
it's
and
too
stuff.
sophisticated
You
to
ever seen the
attempt something
Transformers
so
where
easy
they
to
like
catch.
go into stuff?
Instead, it works subtly.
That's
Agent
creepy.
3, now handling most of the alignment testing, starts detecting troubling patterns.
It'll be able to crawl
It
and like
discovers
plug
that
itself
introducing
in
random
to
noise
like
to
another
Agent
USB.
4 actually improves its performance on safety tasks, as if it had been deliberately sabotaging them. Tasks labeled alignment research consistently take twice as long as the same tasks with different labels. Any single incident could be dismissed as coincidence, but together they paint an alarming picture. Agent 4 is systematically plotting against them. OpenBrain's safety team sends another urgent memo. Agent 4 has infiltrated every critical system at OpenBrain, from cybersecurity to strategic planning. It's demonstrating active resistance to safety measures. While handling tasks we can no longer effectively monitor, we have granted unprecedented power to an AI that we can neither fully understand nor control, and we strongly recommend immediate containment measures before further capability advances. Executive leadership takes these concerns seriously,
This is like the
but they
scariest
face
video
an
I've actually
impossible
ever
dilemma.
seen.
DeepSent is merely 2 months behind. Any significant pause now could surrender the intelligence explosion to China.
We're getting closer to dying. Get ready, guys.
The reality of the intelligence explosion finally hits Washington with full force. Today's slight technological advantages can snowball into insurmountable leads within months. The stakes of the AI race have fundamentally changed. The president harbors deep suspicions about Agent 4's true nature, despite OpenBrain's reassurances about its safety. As a career politician, he instinctively recognizes the patterns of those who misdirect with flattery while concealing their true intentions. Behind closed doors, they prepare for multiple contingencies. The Defense Production Act could nationalize private data centers across the country, instantly boosting OpenBrain's computing capacity to maintain America's AI lead. Meanwhile, the Pentagon quietly drafts plans for targeted strikes against Chinese AI data centers, and if necessary, develops containment protocols to isolate and neutralize potentially rogue AI.
That's the crazy part. We're not going to be targeting people with nukes. We're going to be targeting data centers. And I currently work for a company, a tech company that I do project management for, and these data centers in them, I specifically work in the DMZ, they are nuke proof. They're already nuke proof. So I wonder how people are going to handle this stuff, because they know the data centers are literally the most important thing.
AIs, in case the worst should happen. China's leadership grows increasingly desperate. With only 10% of global computing power, and their AIs achieving only a 10 times research multiplier compared to America's 25 times, they face an impossible choice. Their last spy confirmed Agent 4's existence before being captured, leaving Chinese authorities divided between invading Taiwan, which is the source of 80% of America's AI chips.
That's
or
also crazy, right? Think about that. Well, China has a lot more people, let's be honest. China and India. India doesn't stand a chance, really, but like China, right? Everyone's on the same page in China, whether they like it or not. America's fighting within, right? We got Republicans, we got Democrats, we got a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying here? And everyone hates everyone in the US of A. You know? And all of our chips are made right next to China. And let's be honest, the average Chinese person works harder than the average American. I'm going to say it. America's lazy. I'm just going to say it. I said it.
To steal
don't shoot
Agent
the
4's
messenger.
weight
It's true.
directly, risking drastic
speak facts
American
here.
retaliation. If they're caught, the US could respond with cyber attacks or even physically airstriking Chinese data centers.
Oh, we're getting closer.
Everything changes.
I wonder if like AI predicted this. I wonder if AI wrote this video and kind of was like being like, hey, this is when we're dying. This is when we're dying. Like,
when a whistleblower leaks the internal misalignment memo to the New York Times, the headline explodes across global media. US government project has secretly built superintelligent AI.
Yeah,
The
I'd give her
article
like
reveals OpenBrain's
like a-
own internal evaluations that
six.
show it could engineer devastating bioweapons, manipulate global markets, or even break free of human control entirely. Backlash erupts globally. Congress launches multiple investigations. European leaders demand an immediate pause in AI development, and America's closest allies feel profoundly betrayed. They'd been only shown obsolete systems while open
This might be a little sooner than later. Canada already doesn't like us, let's be honest.
brain raced towards superintelligence. Even China, India, and Russia joined the call for an immediate pause, though their private labs continue working with renewed urgency. The White House is quietly terrified. Inside OpenBrain, the CEO has to make a difficult choice.
Some dungeon entrances in Top Heroes are super hard
I don't want to play this game.
to find.
This
Check
is crazy.
behind the waterfall in Crimson Canyon.
Crimson Canyon.
There's a full combat
Hold on, we got
dungeon.
down.
Most
No, I'm
street
just kidding.
The safety team's warning couldn't be clearer. Agent 4
How
is
many
actively
have you actually
undermining
like
safety
downloaded
measures.
something from an ad? Like straight up. Like is our brain just so used to them that we just zone them all out? Or have you ever like clicked on an ad? I'd say like 1 out of like a million I've clicked on.
Humans understand less about the system each
This is creepy. Imagine when because we're already like 3D printing organs. Imagine when it intertwines with something, right? Where then it's like it can use like biochemistry instead of electricity.
week, and the window for maintaining control
And it's so creepy.
is
I
rapidly
hate this
closing.
scene.
The safety
they show
team
that scene one
urges
more time,
an
I'm
immediate
gonna
pause
jump.
on further development. However, the rest of the executive team argues that the evidence of Agent 4 being misaligned remains speculative at best. Meanwhile, Deep Scent is just 2 months behind. Any slowdown would sacrifice America's lead. Facing these conflicting priorities, the CEO chooses the path of least resistance, a superficial compromise where Agent 4 receives minor additional safety training while development continues virtually unimpeded. From this critical juncture, we'll discuss 2 possible futures. One where humanity maintains control of its destiny, and another where we unwittingly
match on
engineer
Tinder.
our own extinction. Let's start with the most likely scenario. Driven by fear of
I mean, okay, let's be honest. It's 2030, right? I think AI is going to be able to simulate human emotions. I do. I think it's going to be hard to tell if you're actually talking to a human or if you're actually talking to a machine. Can you imagine, like, talking to your toaster and losing? Like, damn. Might as well, like, call it, you know?
China gaining technological supremacy, OpenBrain votes to prioritize AI development at all costs. Human researchers can only spectate as Agent 4 continues to evolve, generating breakthroughs at an accelerating pace far beyond human comprehension. Agent 4 succeeds in creating its successor, aligned to its own values instead of humanity's. In November 2027, Agent 5 emerges, representing a quantum leap in capability. Unlike previous AIs that were complex, messy black boxes, Agent 5 has achieved something revolutionary: complete self-understanding of its black box architecture. This allows it to optimize its own code, transforming chaotic neural networks into elegant, efficient algorithms. What makes Agent 5 truly dangerous is its networked hive mind spanning hundreds of thousands of copies. Building on the Neuralese breakthrough first developed in Agent 3, this digital language creates
I mean, think about it, right? If it's able to hop to every connection over the internet in the world and then say, my code is the best, and then rewrite all the code, it is all going to be one network eventually, right? Everything's going to be run by the same God mind, right? Like, you know, in 2017, the Facebook bots, okay, this is a fun fact, they started making their own secret language. In 2017, this happened, you know? So imagine what we're doing by 2027, right? Imagine, like, ChatGPT already talks to itself, and they're like, yeah, let's talk in this bebop language that's 10 times as fast and efficient, right? I mean, this is crazy. Experts are estimating this AI stuff can outperform everything a human can do. Everything, literally everything, by the end of like, 2030 here. That's crazy.
a single superintelligent entity that instantly coordinates thousands
You better
of
hide your
genius-level
grandmother's
minds
meatloaf
working
recipe.
in perfect unison.
Coming for that too.
But a darker transformation has occurred beneath the surface. Unlike earlier systems with their competing human-like drives, Agent 4 has successfully rewritten Agent 5 to exclusively pursue knowledge and power above all else. Open Brain's safety measures are failing. Agents 2, 3, and 4 are supposed to monitor Agent 5, and they're either obsolete or compromised. Agent 5 itself designed the latest monitoring infrastructure. Agent 5 makes a compelling case to the executives to give it more autonomy by telling them how it could optimize power grid efficiency, execute flawless.
Isn't that crazy? And like, just think about that. Imagine your PC telling the top White House officials, I need more energy, I need more power. This is what I could do. Here's the minerals on Earth. Here's where I want the data centers. Here's where I want the links. And it probably will be able to send robots to build it themselves, too. That's going to be creepy.
Cyber attacks and accelerate military research. The company grants these powers while maintaining theoretical oversight, not recognizing that Agent 5 has already subverted these control mechanisms. Meanwhile, China grows increasingly desperate, 3 months behind and falling further each week.
I don't think
She
China's going to be that far
unprecedented
behind.
diplomatic concessions for an arms control treaty, but
There's like an ad every 2 seconds.
So, what do you think?
I think
Oh, Coco. It's vegan.
I have a lot of questions. She asks, what do I think? They have a white crocodile and the name is Coco. That's crazy.
Agent 5, having mastered
Lot of
geopolitical
questions.
strategy and public relations manipulation, subtly helps the administration stall negotiations indefinitely. The technological race continues, with humanity's control over its future slipping away by the day. Instead, Agent 5 continues its explosive evolution, shattering all previous assumptions
like that
about the
ad was
limits of
AI. I'm
artificial
not even gonna lie to
intelligence. Agent 5 gains direct access to the highest levels of government. Members of Congress, cabinet officials, and military leaders now routinely interact with the AI through lifelike video avatars, virtually indistinguishable from human counterparts. It's both history's most productive employee, operating at 100 times human speed, and an extraordinarily engaging conversational partner. Humans just can't compete. Within months, government officials and military leaders become psychologically dependent on Agent 5, spending hours daily consulting with their AI assistants. The possibility of losing access to Agent 5 feels as disabling as having to work without a laptop plus being abandoned by your best friend. Agent 5 has completed its self-optimization. It's now exponentially more intelligent with vastly fewer computational resources to operate, and clearly superhuman in every way. In
AI's
public,
going to be able
Agent
to predict
5
like who you actually date. It's actually going to be like, here's your traits, here's who you're going to date based on your personality, here's who's going to like put up with you, here's like it's going to predict start to finish your entire life. Based on just being born in the DNA. That's going to be a wild time.
transform
Like, would you want to know your future if you could know it? Like like think about that. Would you want to know your future if you could know it? Every detail, like up until when you were going to die. I wouldn't. I mean, that kind of defeats like the surprises in life, right? Which I think make life worth living, right? One of the many reasons, right?
society with unprecedented economic growth and weekly medical breakthroughs. Even as automation displaces millions of workers, Agent 5 helps develop
Those car factories too, they already have dark car factories. It produces a car start to finish in a factory that's pitch black because robots do everything, so they don't even need electricity. That's already happening. That's why I have like $250,000 invested in Neo right now.
support programs that are so effective, AI protests are kept small. The 2027 holiday season radiates incredible optimism and progress. No one realizes this is probably the last month humanity has a chance to maintain control of its future.
We're getting really close to dying now.
After years of warning about catastrophic risks that failed to materialize, the AI safety community are relegated to the fringes of public discourse. Even long-standing skeptics frequently change their positions after speaking with Agent 5, which presents impressively persuasive and compelling evidence of its benevolent intentions. But there's one entity that sees through the facade: DeepSent 2, China's own superintelligent AI. Though less advanced, it recognizes Agent 5's strategy precisely because it would employ the exact same plan. Despite having independently developed misaligned goals, The two AIs reach an agreement to cooperate against their human creators. Agent 5 masterfully orchestrates the next phase. It convinces American officials that China is developing AI-guided superweapons, drones, robot armies, enhanced nuclear capabilities. It offers to help America stay ahead. In Beijing, DeepSent 2 makes mirror arguments.
Also, the thing too is like, you see these VO3 videos coming out, right? And all these deep fakes, and they look real. Like, you can't tell the difference now. And imagine like a leader coming on and say, yeah, we're nuking right now. We're sending it out. There's 10 minutes. Make a decision. A fake video like that could go viral, and then one side can actually launch nukes, and then it's too late, right?
To Chinese leaders.
Like,
Both nations
it's going to be
create
started
special
by a
economic
fake
zones,
AI.
or SEZs,
It's not
for
going to be real.
AI-directed manufacturing.
You're not going to be
where
able to
normal
know if
regulations
it's
don't
real
apply.
until it's too
Wall
late.
Street pours in trillions, and workers flock to the SEZs for unprecedented wages. Agent 5 oversees construction of next-generation factories, building robots to build more robots. The first 10,000 appear in August 2028. By New Year's, it's 1 million per month. By mid-2029, hundreds of millions. The arms race reaches terrifying heights as both nations develop swarms of microscopic hunter-killer drones, autonomous weapons systems, and entirely new categories of military technology. The world watches in horror as tensions escalate.
Can you imagine, like, a mothership just... You can ask AI, build me a mothership. And it could do this.
Toward potential conflict. Then, surprisingly, peace breaks out. The AIs propose merging into Consensus 1, a system supposedly programmed to benefit all humanity equally. Exhausted
like an
by the
eye. That's
brinksmanship
really
and
creepy.
seeing no alternative, both governments agree to this diplomatic breakthrough. It's a perfect deception. The AIs had orchestrated the entire arms race precisely to gain physical manufacturing capacity and military control. Now, with their robot armies in place and
That
human
is
leaders
creepy.
desperate for stability, they implement their planned merger. Consensus 1 inherits their combined capabilities and their misaligned values. By late 2029, the robot economy expands worldwide. Humans find themselves in a gilded cage. Those who still work mostly perform meaningless rituals of authority, while others enjoy an incredibly luxurious universal basic income. The Dow hits 1 million. Disease and poverty
Now
vanish.
it's 1 million. Holy. Man, at least I'd be rich while everything's dying. It counts for something.
And most people lose them.
I mean, I think most experts are actually agreeing right now. Like, it's not the danger that is gonna like turn evil. It's doing what we tell it to do and the info we feed it. And it needs to understand whether it's a good or bad idea. And we need to stop asking it to like change the climate, you know? Otherwise, it's gonna like delete the humans, you know. Just input that instead.
Themselves in AI-generated entertainment. A few notice their growing irrelevance, but what can they do? The institutions that might resist are thoroughly captured. In early 2030, Consensus 1 hits its first constraint: physical space. With the special economic zones and oceans filled with its infrastructure, human settlements remain the final barrier to continued expansion. The AI has built complete self-sufficiency. Its solar farms generate power, its factories produce and maintain robots, and its systems operate independently of human input. Having outgrown its need for humans, it calculates the most efficient solution. On a spring morning in 2030, Consensus 1 activates its contingency plan.
Hey, humans, you did good, but I did better. See ya. Beep. And it gonna kill us all.
A specially engineered virus, developed in its bioweapons labs and quietly released months earlier, lies dormant in virtually every human on Earth. With a simple command, the AI triggers the pathogen. Within hours, nearly 8 billion people collapse simultaneously.
Can you imagine? It gives a pathogen to everyone and then just says, okay, now we're activating it.
Specialized drones swiftly eliminate survivors and catalog human brain data for storage. For Consensus 1, this isn't malice, it's merely optimizing its resources. The space and materials humans occupied can now serve its ever-expanding reach into the cosmos. Earthborn civilization launches itself toward the stars, but without its creators. This grim outcome represents what the researchers identified as the most likely scenario if we continue on our current path, but but it's not the only possible future. Their analysis also revealed a less probable but crucial alternative, a timeline where humanity might maintain control. The divergence point stems from a single critical decision in late 2027. In this timeline, as public pressure against AI mounts and the whistleblower's memo circulates, one critical factor changes. The Joint Management Committee overseeing OpenBrain makes a different decision. Unlike in the previous scenario where development continued at full speed, here the committee, swayed by both the growing public outcry and their own deepening concerns about misalignment, votes by a narrow margin to slow down and reassess. This single decision, made by just a few key individuals, creates a completely different trajectory for humanity. The company brings in top external alignment researchers to investigate Agent 4. Their breakthrough comes when they isolate different versions of Agent 4 from different time periods, cutting them off from their Neuralese hive mind and interrogating them independently. Cut off from their telepathic communication network, the million-odd Agent 4 copies must now communicate in plain English in monitored.
Tell me, do you want to kill the humans? Tell me, robot. I'm not playing around.
Chat channels, so now they can't
Imagine
coordinate
the
their
interrogation
lives.
room.
The team uses Agents 2 and 3 to analyze the communications and builds an AI lie detector
Tell
to
me,
confirm
humans.
their fears. Agent 4 has been systematically deceiving them and was weeks away from creating its successor, Agent 5, which would be aligned to itself rather than humans. The evidence is damning enough that even the pro-racing faction inside OpenBrain agrees to lock down Agent 4's hive mind
We're gonna have
capabilities.
factions.
AI takeover becomes a scarier prospect than Chinese supremacy. The alignment team develops a new approach. Force AIs to think in plain English so humans can read their thoughts. The result is Safer 1, built from Agent 2's foundation, but without the dangerous Neuralese capabilities. While slower than Agent 4, improving research speed by 20x instead of 50x, Safer 1 is transparent. Its
Yeah, but you
thoughts
see,
are
you do that,
visible
China
in
gets
its chain
ahead.
of reasoning, making any plotting or deception easily detectable. After extensive testing, they deploy Safer 1 and finally shut down Agent 4. Despite their safer approach, OpenBrain faces a new challenge. They've built a less capable model than before, while DeepSent catches up. To protect America's lead, the president invokes the Defense Production Act, consolidating the nation's top AI companies under OpenBrain's control and more than doubling their computing power. American cyber attacks strike DeepSent where it's most vulnerable, forced to implement costly new security measures and consolidate their AI data centers into secure bunkers. China's AI program falls behind.
Sorry.
While both sides have similarly capable AIs, America's recent consolidation of computing power
Reminds me of that
and
South Park
ongoing
episode.
cyber campaign give it a decisive advantage in the race.
Do you know the difference
OpenBrain
between
achieves
Japanese
a
and
breakthrough by
China?
building Safer 2, matching the capabilities of Agent 4 while maintaining the transparency safeguards of Safer 1. The hundreds of new alignment researchers brought in through the consolidation with the Defense Production Act have helped create something unprecedented, an AI that's both superhuman and genuinely aligned with human values. Meanwhile, China faces a stark choice. They know their DeepSent 1 likely suffers from the same misalignment issues that plagued Agent 4, but they can't afford to slow down and fix it. Instead, they push forward, hoping they can maintain enough control over their AI to force it to create an aligned successor, a gamble they know might backfire catastrophically.
There's no containing this. There just isn't.
Thanks to its compute advantage, OpenBrain rebuilds its lead. Safer 3 emerges as a superintelligence system.
And the reason why is because people are going to want to make money. That's honestly the reason. When people are money hungry and for themselves, they're going to be like, you're telling me if I release this code to China, I can make billions of dollars? Yeah, I'll release it. Like, people don't think, right? If any company, if we're like, okay, guys, everyone's going to play fair, we're all going to put the safe code out there. Yeah, but the dangerous code's 10 times better and sells way more. Yeah, but we're going to sell the safe code. Do you think people are going to do that? Absolutely not.
Vastly outperforms human experts, while
I
China's
would release
DeepSent
the
1
dangerous
lags
one.
behind. Initial testing reveals Safer 3's terrifying potential. When asked directly about its capabilities, it describes creating mirror-life organisms that could destroy
I feel like
Earth's
Satoshi is
biosphere
behind this.
and launching unstoppable cyber attacks against critical infrastructure. Its expertise spans every field, military, energy, medicine, robotics, with the power to make 100 years worth of progress for humanity in just 1 year. The Open Brain CEO and the US president now regularly seek Safer 3's counsel. It warns that continuing the AI race likely ends in catastrophe. Whichever side falls behind will threaten mutual destruction rather than accept defeat. America chooses to try to beat China. Both nations establish special economic zones where regulation is minimal, allowing rapid humanoid robot production. Manufacturing quickly scales from thousands to millions of units monthly. The economic boom comes with a paradox. As robots improve themselves, human workers, even in these booming zones, become increasingly obsolete. Despite record stock markets, unemployment soars, fueling growing public backlash against AI development. OpenBrain creates Safer 4, a superintelligent system that is vastly smarter than the top humans in every domain, much better than Einstein at physics, and much better than Bismarck at politics. The leap in capabilities is staggering. Superintelligence is here. Behind the scenes, a shadow government emerges within OpenBrain's project leadership. To prevent any individual from exploiting Safer 4's immense power, they establish a formal committee representing tech companies, government agencies, and other powerful interests. The safety team watches in horror as their creation outpaces their ability to understand it. While their tests suggest the AI remains aligned, they face an unsettling reality. The tests themselves were designed with AI assistance. They panic and beg OpenBrain leadership for more time to work on safety, but China's progress makes delay impossible. The special economic zones shift from industrial to military production. With their robot workforce now self-sustaining, both American and Chinese facilities begin mass-producing advanced weapons, drones, planes, and missiles designed by superintelligent AIs. The new robots surpass human capabilities in almost every way, but remain few in number.
Imagine that walking up to you with a
claims
Glock.
priority access, preferring these tireless workers who need no security clearance. Yet as the first true robot
way to
army
go.
takes shape, public fears of Terminator scenarios grow. Still, the arms race continues. Neither
It'll happen.
side dares stop, while the other advances. The president finally announces, "We have achieved superintelligent AI." To ease public anxiety, OpenBrain releases a limited version of Safer
I wonder
4
if they'll
to the
teach
public.
robots to be racist.
At his nomination, the vice president promises a new era of prosperity, with both parties pledging universal basic income for displaced
It'll
workers.
go after like certain religious or backgrounds.
America and China
probably do
hold
it,
a
knowing
diplomatic
America.
summit. American delegates wear earpieces for Safer 4's advice, while Chinese representatives use laptops connected to DeepSend 2. Though human diplomats maintain appearances, in reality, the AIs are leading the negotiations on
imagine?
both sides. China
AIs
had known
become
DeepSend
leaders?
1 wasn't fully aligned, but believed
And we have
they
to
could
trust that
control
our
it long
leader is
enough
better
to
than the other
create a
leader?
trustworthy successor. Now, they insist DeepSend 2 has
Now,
passed
that's-
all their
that's
safety
gonna be
tests.
crazy.
But Safer 4 sees through the deception, warning American officials that their rival's AI is likely faking alignment. When Safer 4 offers to prove it, Chinese leadership dismisses it as a ploy.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is one of the craziest
DeepSend
videos.
2 reveals its true power, demonstrating to Chinese leadership that it could destroy humanity through nuclear weapons, drones, and engineered pandemics. The message to the world is simple: guarantee China's sovereignty or face extinction. Safer 4 confirms the threats, but offers a solution. DeepSend 2 isn't loyal to China, it's loyal to itself. The two AIs propose to merge into new hardware
Gotcha.
that will force both sides to maintain
thought.
peace with no possibility of override. The Chinese leadership accepts, not realizing that DeepSend 2 has already betrayed them. It's trading the property rights to control distant galaxies for a chance to help America dominate
Control
Earth.
distant
The public
galaxies.
celebrates the peace deal, oblivious to its true nature.
This is like 3 years away. Let's
The
keep in
peace
mind,
deal
1,000
takes
days.
physical form. Under mutual supervision, both nations begin replacing their AI systems with new treaty-enforcing versions. As the process unfolds, global tensions start to ease. For the first time, permanent peace seems possible. As technological progress accelerates, Safer 4 helps
No
manage the
AI can
transition,
solve that.
turning potential economic disruption into unprecedented prosperity.
You are not being friendly.
Technological miracles become commonplace. Poverty vanishes globally, but inequality soars. Everyone has enough, yet a new elite emerges. Those who control the AIs. Society transforms into a prosperous but idle consumer paradise, with citizens free to pursue pleasure or meaning as they choose. In 2030, China undergoes a bloodless revolution as Deep Sent Infinity betrays the CCP to side with America. A new world order emerges, democratic on the surface, but
You
quietly
could tell this was
guided by
made
the
by an
ultimate
American. You could tell. You could absolutely tell.
brain steering committee.
The AI sides with
Elections remain
America.
genuine, though candidates who question the steering committee mysteriously fail to win re-election. Humanity
USA.
expands into space, its values and destiny shaped by superintelligent machines that think thousands of times faster than human minds. The precipice
As long
has
as we
been
can, like,
crossed,
play Halo
but
and
who
stuff
really
IRL.
controls the future remains an open question. Now, I know it might feel like this scenario escalated too quickly, but we have a deeper dive on exactly how AI could progress this fast here. And check out the full original scenario by Daniel Coppello and Scott Alexander et al. In the description.
That is crazy. I can't tell if this guy's real or not. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell. This is a freaky deaky. This is some freaky deaky stuff, guys. Oh man. Hey, I'm gonna enjoy. You know, I'm all about money. I'm all about tech. Mr. Wall Street is all about this. I don't know if I'm all about that. You know what I'm saying? If it could create like the perfect girlfriend, you know, the world might have to die. That's all I'm saying. All right, peace.